What you want to be, feeling so faithless, under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, but under the pressure, walking in your shoes. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. I'm just trying to I become so numb, I can't feel you. Become so tired, so much more. And it's the Ask Us Sports Podcast, and the last thing you're feeling is numb when you're listening to me, Ken, and Viggy Betts in your ear all night long, going till 10 o'clock. Ken, how was your weekend?
What's up, Shane? What's up, Andy? Weekend was good. NFL slate was insane, as you can see by our records. The NFL was the great equalizer this week. Took us down a notch.
Andy, how's your weekend? I know you're on pins and needles tonight.
Yeah, man, that's for sure. Great start by Max Fried. Inauspicious, but got out of it. So hoping for good things on that front. NFL was a little wacky over the weekend, but family time is always nice. I'm actually taking Friday off of work this week, so I have a long weekend coming up. I'm excited about that.
What do you got planned for the weekend?
Hopefully some relaxation. Doing the World Series and my softball season ending on Thursday and taking a day off of work. I'm kind of
going to the goat farm?
Maybe.
Yep. You and Ken can text each other and share some goat pictures.
I'm tired of pacing back and forth in the World Series, but it's a good problem to have. We got to take care of business tonight.
Hopefully we'll get some runs in, which leads us into our first segment. Henry Ruggs. Ooh. He had a very tragic accident last night. At first, I thought he might have been dead when I was reading the article.
I literally thought that too. I thought,
and I was like, wow, Andy traded me DeAndre Hopkins for a dead Henry Ruggs and a first-round pick.
That was my.
Not to make light of the situation, but Ken, Henry Ruggs could be facing some serious jail time. In the state of Nevada, any DUI charge that results in a death is a felony B, which is the second highest felony in the state of Nevada. Faces anywhere from the minimum of 2 years to 20, and hefty fines. What are we thinking here?
Yeah, it's pretty sad, especially for the family of the victims involved. Obviously, because now it's the story is about the person who committed the crime, which is unfortunate because it's a super talented young, 22, 23 years old, future cornerstone offensive weapon of that franchise, already the number one receiver of that franchise, and then he goes and he makes a mistake and he changes his life forever and changes other lives forever. And now we probably will never see him again, at least not at his full potential. He's going to lose at least 2 years of development, likely more, I would assume. But I guess we'll see how that all turns out. As far as a football perspective, I don't think you're going to expect anything from him. Andy's got a pumpkin on his fantasy team. He's screwed with him. You can't trade him. You got to basically drop him or just leave him there and hope to see him again in 5 years. And what's he going to be at that point, not playing in the league? The one thing I would say, though, is I now understand why you guys said that him putting on 30 pounds was a good thing. I think it's going to go to much better use where he's going as opposed to on the football field. So good thing he bulked up because not to make light of the situation, but we are a bunch of assholes on a talk show. So, of course, we're going to make light of the situation. The 30 pounds of bulk is probably going to go towards a better use now. Hopefully he takes care of himself.
So this does bring up, I think it was early 2000s, Minnesota Wild, I believe. Their player Rob Ramage got into a DUI accident, actually killed the passenger in his car, former NHLer Keith Magnuson.
and that was his passenger. So he knew the guy, and he ended up getting 4 years in jail because of this. And this wasn't in Nevada. So where the accident happened there in 2003, you know, I don't know what the laws were there, but it wasn't. I don't think it was severe as Nevada, who has one of the stricter DUI fatality laws. So you saw him get 4 years. I don't know what if the judge wants to make an example of Henry Ruggs. Could you see him get 5 to 10, maybe? It's a terrible accident, but Andy, what are you thinking here?
Well, it could be similar to a Dante Stallworth situation where he was, killed a person, unfortunately, and I believe he was drunk as well. So I'm hoping that whatever. It's sad for the family who lost, their family member. It's sad for Henry Ruggs and his future. I mean, obviously it was him at fault and everything, and you can't really feel sorry for him, but I feel sorry for his family that he's going through that as well. It could definitely affect his family. So it's just tragic all around. Make light of it. It sucks for my fantasy team. It sucks for my fantasy team, right? I wish there was like trade insurance right now with you, Shane. I was loving this trade.
Yeah. I've got some trade insurance. You just have to give me Michael Pittman, and I will send you Darius Slayton.
I'd love Michael Pittman.
Oh, well, to me that doesn't sound like insurance. That doesn't sound. I
will come back around to this here in a second.
That actually does kind of sound like insurance. So.
Yeah.
It's an absolute. Yeah, you're getting bent over.
It doesn't sound like the insurance it should be.
So Ken, Henry Ruggs, he makes so much money. Why are these players out driving drunk? Don't you think they should just have a driver if they're gonna decide to get?
It is fairly inexcusable to do this in the middle of downtown Vegas in the days of Uber and Lyft. I mean, it is so easy to get an Uber. It really is absurd. I mean, and I mean, not for nothing. It's unfortunate because he's probably not a terrible person. He's a 22-year-old, just became a millionaire and made a fatally huge, massive, awful mistake, and is probably pretty beat up about it. So, it's unfortunate. Obviously, it's a giant mistake. I'm sure if he could take it back, he would, but it's too late now. You have to live with what the choices you make, and it's unfortunate. It really is.
Do you think if he gets the book thrown at him, that we'll see teams implement like a driver policy?
Maybe. Is that discussed? I mean, that would be quite extreme. I doubt that the players would accept something like that. To be honest with you, it's kind of like a curfew type situation, and I'm not sure that these people aren't going to want to be treated like professionals. So I don't see that making it far enough to be on the table.
Sure. Now to circle back to the Michael Pittman thing, because we do talk fantasy here once in a while. Ken, what are you thinking about Andy's trade for Michael Pittman, trading Chris Godwin to get Pittman? I think he got a second in Pittman for Godwin.
I got first.
Oh, he got a first in Pittman for Godwin.
That's what I was going to say, because I think the first is the key equalizer here, because Godwin is only 25, and I don't know how old Pittman is, but I would venture to guess he's 22.
Pittman's 24, I believe.
24, so only a year younger. That's interesting. But obviously Pittman came into the league a lot later, but he has shown his ability too. So, it's kind of like Vig wasn't playing when Vig made the move. He wasn't playing for this year. He probably still isn't playing for this year.
I mean, you look at my team. Russell Wilson, obviously he went down. I had guys coming into training camp. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. I drafted Cam Akers knowing he was injured probably for the entire season. But losing those two guys and Russell Wilson
I think
really changed my outlook for this year mid-season. I was planning to win. I was trying to win. Then all these guys go down. I'm thinking I have to reshape my roster. DeAndre Hopkins is 29 years old, and And Chris Godwin, I like him a lot, but I feel like I wanted to capitalize on his value with Tom Brady at the helm. So I thought that was a good opportunity for me because I do like Pittman a lot. And getting a first-round pick on top of Pittman really gives myself an opportunity to grow my dynasty league team.
And looking at that guy, it's looking like it's going to be a middle of the first, which is a very coveted asset. It's not a late first. Those are the guys who keep trying to trade their first. So you got to be smart with these guys because pick 1.12 is basically a second rounder. So being able to get those types of picks from people like who you traded with and Hatch, I'll throw under the bus. Hatch is a guy that I won all his picks. So. It's definitely, I think, smart. I mean, Godwin is a great asset, but to get Pittman and only have to give up a first, I think it's kind of a no-brainer.
Well,
I'd have
getting a first on top of Pittman.
I'd have a hard time rejecting that same trade if it was offered to me for Terry McLaurin. So
that's all I got to do to offer it to get him.
A first that you don't have and a receiver.
Dude, 2023 first and Gabe Davis.
No, they got a first for Gabe Davis. Yes, that's the equivalent of Michael Pittman. Gabe Davis.
Dude, Gabe Davis had a touchdown last week.
No.
How about Henry Ruggs for some candy, leftover Halloween candy that you have?
You could trade me David Montgomery now that I have Khalil Herbert.
Dude, I could for Terry McLaurin.
No, that's not on the table. Terry's my cornerstone right now.
But talking about all these receivers, we'll circle back around here into Calvin Ridley, who over the weekend, very shocking on Sunday during the Falcons game, kind of retired-ish due to some mental health issues. He's stepping away from the game of football for now. He said the foreseeable future. Which is leaving fantasy owners, fans, maybe even management in limbo because foreseeable future I feel like could be 2 weeks down the line or could be 2 years down the line. Of course, I'm a big advocate of mental health. I think if your mental health isn't there, you're going to struggle. We've seen Ridley not play a few games. I know they said a few of them were due to injury. Maybe it was an injury. That's just what they said. His mental health wasn't right. I don't know what he's got going on, but Ken, foreseeable future. What are we thinking here?
I think you got to bank on hoping that he comes back next season. He left it so ambiguous. You have no idea if he's going to be gone for a month or 3 weeks or the rest of the season. There's no reason for Atlanta to push him to come back and risk, making things worse. I mean, we don't really know the gravity of the situation. We only have to assume that it's that serious that he would walk away from what he has, and literally hang his boots up for the foreseeable future for X amount of time. That to me says that it's pretty serious. So obviously I wish him the best because he's such a supreme talent. He seems like a great guy. And I think there's a lot of pressure on him filling a role that was left by Julio Jones and coming in and being a top receiver on a high-powered offense. And, it's not for me to say if he can or cannot handle it. I think he's making his decision based off of how he feels. And I think as far as Atlanta's concerned, and from a fantasy perspective, this really will elevate Kyle Pitts quite a bit. He's going to see an insane volume in the pass game. This is more targets, more touches from Mike Davis and Cordell Patterson. I expect what's his name? Gage. Gage is going to get a lot of looks. And the sleeper is Tajay Sharp. Got a lot of looks, got a lot of plays last week in the absence of Ridley, ex-Titan, ex-Viking too, maybe. I can't remember. But yeah, I believe he's going to see some looks. So in that high-powered offense might be worth a grab if you're in a deep league. And obviously we didn't touch on Oakland's situation, which is going to probably look towards Hunter Renfrow and Brian Edwards. Brian Edwards is the one I really like. Young, same rookie class, just was not as touted as Ruggs, but now has every opportunity in the world to be an elite receiver. see if he can capitalize on an opportunity.
I think you're going to see Darren Waller get an insane volume again too.
Yeah, you'll see both of these tight ends probably elevate to the top 4, top 5 in the league. I mean, Waller obviously is already there, but I think Kyle Pitts was considered probably he's close to the top 5 with Ridley on the field.
Well, you also got to see like Calvin Ridley last year was amazing without Julio. So the talent level, like obviously mental health can affect anyone, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors either. He might have a lot of shit going on in his life, and he just can't deal with practice and can't deal with football, and he just wants to run away from it for a while. So that's what he's doing, and he can afford to do so, clearly. So good for him. I mean, hopefully he can.
And that's the thing. I think Atlanta, welcomes him with open arms when he comes back.
Of course. I'm sure they will.
Another worldly talent, right?
I'm sure they will. I have no doubt that.
But that's the thing in like fantasy leagues too. Do you bank on that otherworldly talent and hope he comes back and maybe send a lowball offer to the Ridley owner that might be in playoff contention?
I absolutely would. I mean,
especially I'm talking long-term leagues like dynasty leagues.
I have a hard time thinking that is a career. Like that he's going to call it a career. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't see that. I think if you're in dynasty leagues, sending the Ridley owner like
you're giving me
a third
ideas.
And
you're giving me ideas.
Fringe good receiver or running back gets the deal done.
Here I go.
Are you sending it in our league?
You're giving me ideas. I'm going. I'm on the move.
I mean, just off the top of my head, I had the Ridley owner come to me today, looking to recruit in my 2014 dynasty league. He's undefeated. He's number 1 in our league. He's trying to stay in contention. He offered me Calvin Ridley for KJ Osborne and a first. So, I mean, it's something I thought about. I don't know if I want to give up a first for someone that I don't know when could come back. But just because my team, I'm like number 4 out of 24 teams, so I don't want to ruin myself. But I think it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility to work something like that out, though.
Oh, I already sent something. We'll see if he responds, but it's.
It's definitely an interesting thought.
I would avoid like the plague in redraft, though. I wouldn't want him. I did that in Dynasty only because I sucked and I had an absolute fire sale this week and have like 42 draft picks.
Yeah, why not recoup some assets, right? Yeah. Maybe trade a pick or two. And
I have 42 draft picks over the next 2 years practically. So
you're the Rams after they traded with Washington, so Washington could get RG3.
I'm Danny Ainge. I have an excuse to be mediocre for 5 to 10 years now because I can just claim I have assets.
Moving on to the next subject, which funny enough is about the Rams. They've acquired Von Miller, which is now the scariest front line in the NFL. Andy, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. It's got to be a pretty daunting defense to face, right?
Yeah, I think they added Von Miller for the sole reason of if they were to see Aaron Rodgers or if they were able to see Tom Brady in the postseason, they're building up defensively to try to beat them. I think that's what their end goal is right now, is to get back, to the Super Bowl and getting a piece, especially on the edge like that. It's actually a pretty strong move. Now, there was a report today, not sure how true it is or if there was truth to it, but you never know in this day and age. There was a report that the Broncos players were kind of miffed at Von Miller. Von Miller apparently throws an annual Halloween party and apparently asked some of his guests to chip in for it, thinking that, players were thinking that, we're invited guests. Why would we chip into a party when we're invited guests? And apparently Von Miller asked them to chip in for the party. So I don't know, from a locker room standpoint, how much Von Miller was liked and appreciated leading up to this trade. I don't know if there was a reason.
Okay, so this leads me to a new question for Ken. Ken, you're throwing a party, right? Your coworkers. It's a company party. Wouldn't you think that the company would maybe pitch in a little bit?
Wait, I'm
Like
throwing the party?
You're throwing a party for your office, right?
I mean, they would probably all offer to do something, right? I would assume.
Yeah. I just know when I go to a party, I bring if I'll be like, yo, what can I bring?
So, is that what he's saying? Is that what he's saying? Like nobody brought any fucking cookies? Like, is that what he's talking about?
I guess.
Or is he asking people like?
Or
is he asking people like, yo, guys, I spent $80 on.
I think he was saying financially.
Right, like which is like absurd. Like, do you have any idea how much money he makes?
I mean, true.
So actually, I have a different conspiracy.
Let me give
theory.
you my better question.
There's a better conspiracy theory to this because
okay, I want to hear it.
They got 2 draft picks, and the more under the cover story is they wiped away $9.7 million off their cap, off their salary. $9.7 million. With free agency looming and a little guy by the name of Aaron Rodgers entering free agency potentially.
Oh shit!
Is he potentially or could be looking at a new home, and he was heavily linked to the Denver Broncos last year. They still needed that quarterback for their run. I bet this is a preemptive move. I bet they're coming at Aaron Rodgers hot in the offseason.
So, the day that Von Miller was traded, I threw it on ESPN. They had Chris Mortensen and a couple other guys. I want to say one was the dude that everyone hates in Boston because he called Tom Brady old and washed up. I can't remember
Coward.
his name. Not Coward.
Max Kellerman?
Max Kellerman.
Max Kellerman.
I think it was Max Kellerman and one other guy that was saying Von Miller's washed up. He's not the same guy. He's not going to make a difference on the Rams. And Mortensen saying that he's not believing that. He's got 4.5 sacks this year. He's playing opposite Aaron Donald, so that makes a lot of difference too, because you wouldn't be able to double team both of them, and if you do, you're leaving a lot open for linebackers up the middle. So what's your take on that, Ken? Do you think he's washed up and the Rams got fleeced in this?
Kind of. Yeah, I do. Actually, I kind of don't think that's an awful take. I think he has some juice left in the tank, but I think this is like I think he's going to turn into DeMarcus Ware very soon. Where in the next 2 years, maybe 2 to 3 years, he's going to be that pass rush extraordinaire that plays like a 50% snap count. I don't think you're getting. I think you're getting. If you win the Super Bowl this year, they did not get fleeced. If they do not win the Super Bowl this year, they absolutely 100% got fleeced because this is a team that really could have used those draft picks. Not gonna lie. They're
now
great.
They don't have a first, second, or third.
They have no fourth. They have a fifth. They have nothing. They could have used those picks. They really could have. And I think they better win the Super Bowl with this front 7 unit because that's what they made the play for. Really.
This almost seems like they're. I mean,
it's
I guess their Twitter said it the best. They posted a GIF from a poker movie saying they're all in.
It's Super Bowl or bust for them now. Honestly, it really is.
And honestly, that team is pretty awesome. I think you said it best at the beginning of the season on one of our older episodes that Matt Stafford is very similar to Aaron Rodgers if you switch their teams. And now he's got a team like the Green Bay Packers where, I mean, Stafford's looking great. He's had a couple missteps, but he's actually looked very good. Cooper Kupp has taken a step forward this year. I think now that Henry's gone, there's a real shot that he could win MVP or at least Offensive Player of the Year. So, I mean, I think that can't be too bad of a take, right?
No, I think Stafford's definitely going to be there for Offensive Player of the Year for sure. I don't know what MVP. We'll see how it goes. That's wide open after what happened to Derrick Henry. All right, rest in peace. But
sorry, I didn't mean to scrape old wounds.
I don't think it's a terrible take. I do stand by what I said, that if Stafford was drafted to Green Bay and Rodgers was drafted to Detroit, their careers reverse, because I think Stafford's that good. McVay seems to have found the quarterback that he's looking for. He can continue to blame Goff, but he's going to win. They've put a lot of pressure on this team to win. So I definitely think that they're going to be one of those top 4 teams. I think they have a. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. I mean, the NFC's tough, man, because I want to give the NFC title game to like Rams, Cowboys, but it's tough to pick against the Packers. And it's tough, obviously, to pick against Brady. So this is going to be wide freaking open. I didn't even mention the Cardinals. So this is going to be something else, this NFC playoff picture.
Yeah. Andy, real quick, I'll get your thoughts. Do you believe Von Miller makes the impact and gets the Super Bowl to the Los Angeles Rams?
See, the problem with the NFC is it's so top heavy. You have the Rams, you have the Cowboys, you have the Bucks, you have the Packers. Those teams. It's going to be hard. I think home field advantage in this postseason is going to be paramount. So getting a guy to add to your defense, like the Rams did, I think is huge. And if the Bucks, the Bucks didn't really add anybody on their defense. The Cowboys, I think are fine as long as Dak's healthy long term. The Packers are a little up and down right now from their defensive standpoint. As long as they have Aaron Rodgers and a sound running game, I think they'll be okay. So I think the Rams definitely put themselves in a good position. But frankly, it's still up in the air for me, because you have the teams, the playoff teams in the NFC, the division winners are so top heavy. I think it could come down to the wire.
True. All right, moving forward. Looks like we're good on Viggy Bets this week. I know Andy's having a tough week. 10 ECBC. We got anything going on?
Yeah, we do. We got a giveaway happening on Twitter. If you want to win a draft illustrations set of 7, what the hell is that? Well, that is a 7-card lot of the rookies. Their kind of silhouette illustrations came out on draft night. They all are short printed. So it's a nice little lot. All you have to do is retweet and like. Retweet and follow. I'm sorry. That's basically it. Follow Ask Us Sports, of course, for which you already are if you're listening, I hope. And then follow, of course, EC Breaking Co., which is my handle right down there, and give that tweet a retweet. That's all you have to do. We're giving it away on Sunday. I think Saturday or Sunday. As far as breaking, that continues. I do have 2 boxes of Bowman Chrome. I'm going to open a PYT. Very cheap, actually, because I got a sick deal on these. Very good deal. So break off of the prices I pay, not off of the prices that I get.
I like that.
And let's see what else. This came in the mail today. I tried to cancel it, but it still came in the mail because the guy's an asshole. So hopefully there's something good in here, good karma for me. I don't know what we'll do with it yet. I was thinking maybe a hit draft or another one of those weighted randoms, which would make it fairly cheap, actually, $30, 16 spots for a weighted random. Obviously, not everybody gets a card, but that's the risk with the 2 autos, 1 mem. So we'll see. That's what's on the table. The Bowman Chrome will probably drop tomorrow after I price the teams. We'll see on the Origins, and other than that, we're still chugging right along there. Please give us a follow. I would greatly appreciate it, and make sure you do the giveaway.
Awesome. Which brings us to our next segment, which is the Get It Off Our Chest segment. Ken, do you have a Get It Off Your Chest this week?
You have to go first. I'm not prepared.
All right. So.
Never mind. I could go. I'll go.
You want to go first?
I actually what?
You want to go first?
Yeah. I'll go because I got really pissed off on Sunday about Mike Vrabel. Obviously, as you all know, my king, my liege, Derrick Henry is out for 6 to 8 weeks. That pretty much caps his regular season. Maybe the Titans have a playoff run in them, but this is what pisses me off about it, right? Mike Vrabel, who started the season trying to get cute, not giving Henry the ball, now realizes that the only way I can win is by hammering the rock, and this is where we get a foot fracture when he, in the first quarter, got injured, went to the blue tent, and then came out of the blue tent and proceeded to get another 25 fucking carries in that game against the Colts. A good defense. He didn't look the same. He looked hurt. Any asshole could see he was hurt. He had like 30 carries for 60 yards. Did not look like himself. And you just continued to hammer it. And who knows? We don't know what happened during that time. What if that was a 1 to 2 week injury and it turned into a fracture, a Jones injury, whatever they want to call it. So that's my gripe is this guy, this coach, Mike Vrabel, started the season being too cute, didn't address the lack of depth behind Derrick Henry. Oh, now it's okay because we're going to bring in 36-year-old Adrian Peterson. Well, why didn't you bring him in earlier? Why didn't you bring in Frank Gore or somebody that could take 5 to 6 carries and knock Derrick Henry's yardage down? So you didn't have to, completely run him into the ground. I mean, he's 27 years old. He had a fantastic season last year. He was on track to have a record-setting season this year, and it got completely derailed because of the coaching staff. I stand by that, and I think Mike Vrabel's a joke. That's my get off my chest.
So mine's not going to be too sports-related. It's going to be in the card world. There was some drama yesterday with the card world.
Good thing I went first.
What'd you say?
Good thing I went first.
Some people know this big hobby Twitter account does a lot of selling. Bashed Whatnot for the past week. Said that the people that sell on there are scammers. And then all of a sudden, yesterday out of the blue, I'm selling repacks on Whatnot after he just blasted them for a week straight, saying every single person that does repacks on Whatnot is a scammer. I was flabbergasted to say the least. One of our buddies, a show's buddy out of Bagels, hit up Ken and I, said, "You got to see this. This is a train wreck." So we go on there and just see him completely flub it up. He's getting $2,000 per repack because he's saying there's a paper LeBron rookie card that's in there that's worth like $4 or $5K. So every repack selling for $2K. He's got like 70 packs or 65 packs, something stupid like that. So you think $2K a pack times 60, you're looking at 120. I think he still had like 3 or 4 packs at the end when the big accident happened, where he opens up one pack and there's no card at all in there. Where he could have just said, "Oh, this is the LeBron pack. Here you go, guys." But he plays it off that the LeBron card's missing, which is bullshit. We all know it. This was a huge scam. I think that pack was always meant for one of his friends. His friends were supposed to take it and then give it back to him. And then he doesn't lose a card and he makes $120,000 in front of all of us, scamming all of us in front of our eyes. Of course, I would never buy into anything like that. I mean, I know there was one guy, he spent like $21K on a pack, got a Carmelo that he said was worth $17K or $1,700. And then he sells it on Twitter for $1,200, saying he's just trying to get rid of it because he wants it out of his house because he's so depressed. But anyways, to get it off my chest part is he makes 2 suicide jokes, says he's going to kill himself, gets a lot of backlash about that, tries to say that he deals with mental illness and that he's tried to kill himself before. I just think joking about killing yourself isn't cool, isn't funny. He was just trying to garner sympathy to pump his sales, because then right after that he comes back, deletes the post, says he's kidding, and has a sale and says he just needs to get rid of these cards. It's fucking ridiculous. Don't act like saying you want to kill yourself to get sympathy and then try and sell someone $1,000 card. That's just fucking ridiculous. And quite frankly, if this guy didn't have the following he had, and it was, say, Ken or I that did this, we'd be labeled scammers. We'd be shunned. We'd have to delete every social media account attached to our likeness that anyone could find us on. they would hunt us down, calling us scammers. We'd never be able to come back into the community ever again. So that's my get it off the chest. Ken, do you have anything to follow up with that?
No, I think that was well said, Shane. The only thing I have to follow up with is that Jorge Soler just absolutely fucking crushed it out of the stadium.
Yes! I didn't see that because I was in my monologue.
That left the fucking ballpark. That was a moon shot, and oh my God!
Let's fucking go!
Give the man there they are. Give the man the World Series MVP. Give him the MVP. Let's go.
If he gets the MVP, Ken becomes the richest man in America.
I have my Soler collection.
I'm not gonna celebrate too much early yet after what happened in Game 5, but Max Fried is on the mound.
Also, I need the Braves to win because sports betting in Florida became legal with the Seminoles launching their Hard Rock Sportsbook app, which is great for me because Hard Rock is an approved app that I can play on. So I'm super happy about that. For the line of work I'm in, there's certain apps I'm not allowed to play on.
I was wondering if you could bring that up, Shane.
I try not to bring it up too much. I don't want someone tweeting me asking me why, why they didn't get this and that. I just, I get that enough at work. So I don't really tell a lot of people. However, it is funny that in my soccer group that I'm in on Twitter that we talk about soccer cards, there was another person from my area that works for the same company as me, and we found out today. So that was a small world.
You're welcome, by the way. Who sent you the link about Hard Rock?
Oh, Andy did send me the link this morning. I had no idea.
See,
so I will give Andy credit.
Up, man. Viggy Betts hooks you up, man.
Jesus Christ, I hate you, Andy. Do you have a get it off your chest this week, Andy, or are you good?
Next week, if the Braves somehow blow us, I'll get it off my chest. But right now, I'm
Got it.
Be happy.
All right, moving into a segment. Our last segment of the night is the one that's most anticipated. It is our NFL Week 5 pick'em.
Actually, I do have something I'd like to get off my chest. Why aren't you asleep, my baby girl I have in my lap?
Oh, you can't be mean to her. Look at her little cute face.
Look how cute she is.
Look at her cute face.
She's pretty cute though, so she can get away with it.
This is Week 8. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't update that. This is Week 8 pick'em.
9.
Ken, his run of 10 wins every week is dead. He did finish 7-8, which was top, tied with Andy. I got 6-9 because I tried to get cute and take the Dolphins over the Bills.
I think that record's going to stand for the test of time, Ken, that 10-win streak for 8 weeks.
First 6 weeks.
7 weeks.
I think it's being undersold. It was a good run.
It was a really good
run. Great run. I don't think anyone will ever be able to top it. I think honestly, to catch you, I think someone has to get on a run like that.
This is the equivalent of the 56-game hitting streak right here, Ken.
So now we've got something to beat next year, unless someone can pull on some kind of crazy streak this year. But Ken's 78-44, finished 7-8. Andy is 4 games back, 74-48. He went 7-8 last week, and then I am 6 games back, 2 games back of Andy. 72-50 is my record currently. I went 6-9. I mean, so overall, we all three of us have pretty solid records. I've definitely seen worse.
How many receiving yards does Mike Evans have? By the way, we got to check in on that since we're halfway through the season.
I'll check in on it in a second. But yeah, Ken's above 30 games. Andy's pretty close to 30 games. I'm 22 games up. I mean, I think overall, as a collective, we've done very good.
We have.
But obviously, Ken is superior currently. And the goal is to catch him. So we'll start off with the first game, the Thursday night game.
544, by the way.
What? What was?
544.
That's Mike Evans receiving yards.
Oh. I thought you were saying something else. Never mind.
So if he can only get 400 yards, I still win the bet. So we'll see how it goes. I really want to see Andy
Things holding
give me
out,
the best
clinging to
man
hope.
speech. But we'll start with our Thursday night game. We'll start with Ken. Jets at Colts. Ken, where are you going on this one?
Yep. So the Mike White hysteria has begun. He had quite a game against the Bengals. This was going to be my lock survivor pick of the Colts. I was really ready to jump on them and go with it. I got to admit, Mike White scared me off that a little bit. He really elevated those guys, Michael Carter, Elijah Moore. I mean, are they able to do that 2 weeks in a row, this time on a short week preparation on a road trip out to Indianapolis? I'm a little skeptical that they're going to have the same success that they had against the Bengals. I'm going to take the Colts. I really just wanted to lock them in for Survivor Pool, but I'm still a little nervous. I just don't know if there's a better play this week. I just can't see Mike White having a back-to-back barn burner of a game like he did last time. I will go with the Colts.
Sure. And before I kick it to Andy, they just showed a replay on the Solaire homework, Ken.
Yes.
It indeed did go out of the stadium.
It did indeed, yes.
I think it's still traveling.
Yeah, it hasn't landed.
Andy, where are you leaning on this one?
Kind of the same with Ken. I was like, you know what? Would it be cute to go with the Jets here? But I feel like in these pick'em spots, when you're trying to make a little bit of a run, you have to pick your spots. And for me, the Jets is not one of them. I did try to do that earlier in the season when they went to London. It did not pan out. I will say this: if Mike White does his thing again, similar to what he did last week, whether it ends with a win or a loss. Is there a quarterback controversy when Zach Wilson's healthy? I mean,
trade him.
Zach. Well, we'll see. I mean, but, is all this hysteria over nothing, or do we have something legitimate here? I think we're gonna not say find out completely, but I think we're gonna have a new chapter to talk about with it. So, with any regard, I'm not gonna go cute here. I am gonna go with the Colts, but I think this game is much more interesting than say a week ago at this time.
Choo, choo, choo. I am the cutest one in the group, and I'm going cute here. Give me the Jets. Give me Mike White. Give me.
He just dropped himself farther down the standings, I think. I like how Andy said you have to pick your spots. Dolphins against the Bills is not one of them. Maybe this one is, but we'll see. We'll see.
I think this is it. I like the Mike White vibe. I think he's got at least one more week in him. Indy didn't look amazing against the Titans. I think they can do it. I'm gonna go with the Jets. I gotta give it a shot. The only way I'm gonna catch up is doing this, or I'm just gonna shove myself farther down the rankings, which is fine. I'm completely okay with losing to Ken. If I lose to Andy, I'll kill myself. But
you are losing to Andy. You're down by 2 games.
Andy's the one who's keeping pace with me. It's gonna be a 2-horse race if you keep throwing your picks away.
But I think this is a good one.
All right.
I want to say this is a good one. Andy, going into the next week, we got Raiders at Giants. Where are you going? Oh, the baby's crying. Don't worry about it. I got you. So Andy's going to go Giants on this one. Ken, Raiders or Giants?
I get why he's taking the Giants, but I do think he's underselling how bad the Chiefs are. So I'm not putting a whole lot of stock in their performance. I watched them. They looked not good. Daniel Jones looked erratic and uncomfortable. The receivers are always hurt, always dropping the ball. Slayton's a mess. Shepard's a mess. Booker, for all the shit Booker gets about being old and useless, he looks kind of nimble. He looks pretty good out there. He looks like the best player on the offense. But I'm not comfortable picking them. The Raiders, they're coming off a bye. They're 2-0 without John Gruden. I know they just lost Ruggs, but I don't think it's going to hurt that bad. I think Carr's going to be lights out. I like the Raiders here. And I would, that's another survivor pick I might have to consider, but a little riskier.
No, I'm definitely with you. I think the Raiders here. I just think their leadership. I think Carr is a very underrated leader. Earlier in the year, when you saw him get hurt in Pittsburgh, the whole freaking team came off the bench to make sure he was okay. I know he got taken off the field, but every single teammate came out to see him, make sure he was okay, put a hand on him. So I think this guy's a really underrated leader. And I think this is the Henry Ruggs point is a rallying point. Like Ken said, I think you're going to see a lot of different players get involved. You've got Darren Waller still, and he's the kind of the straw that stirs the drink, right? To use an old Reggie Jackson metaphor. But the Giants are just so bad. And the fact that the Chiefs didn't use Travis Kelce more against the Giants, who are ranked dead last in defending the tight end, is ridiculous to me. He got 7 targets against the Giants. 7. Against a team that can't defend the tight end. So, and we saw Waller get like 15 targets in the first week in their week 1 game. So Derek Carr is going to give a heavy dose to Waller. I expect the Raiders to win this one. I think this is a good survivor pool game. I think the Raiders win this one in the Meadowlands. Next, we got
scared, but I like it. I'm sorry.
What were you going to say?
I'm a little scared, but I do kind of like the Raiders this week. I don't love the road teams, but I think this checks the right boxes. I think they're coming off a bye. I think it's going to be a low over-under. And it's interconference. It's non-divisional. It checks a lot of the right boxes you want to see for Survivor Pool.
And then we've got the next game, the third game of the week. The Falcons heading to New Orleans. Jameis tore his ACL. It looks like Trevor Siemian's going to start there. I'd love to see Ian Book start. I know Taysom Hill might get some looks at quarterback once he clears concussion protocol. But again, I'd love to see what they have in Ian Book. I just don't know if it's too early, and maybe Peyton wants to save him a season. But I really like the Saints. I think I'm going to go with the Saints here. I know Andy's going with the Saints. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of Kamara, especially with Jameis out. We saw a kind of a resurgence of Mark Ingram. I thought Mark Ingram was very good last week.
He was good, yeah.
Even though he's wearing that ugly number 14 jersey. Oh my God, that was so bad.
I share the same sentiments. I'm going to go with the Saints as well. This is actually 3 in a row for Survivor consideration. I am considering it. While I don't think losing James – so I would have considered the Saints at home regardless of injury. I don't think losing Jameis Winston is that big of a deal. Is that bad to say? I really don't think it's that big of a deal. He's really not that good.
I don't think he's not like a game changer at quarterback.
Right, and losing Calvin Ridley is huge for them. Their defense is uninspiring. They lost to a Carolina team that's not very good. The offense looks like it's sputtering too. The Saints are at home, truly at home. Simeon looked okay. I hope Taysom Hill comes back. I think Peyton's kind of like quarterback independent. He's kind of quarterback proof. He can win games without a quarterback. Drew Brees got hurt each of the last few years he was in the league, and they didn't miss a beat every time. So this is a team I feel like can win with a sudden quarterback change pretty easily. I don't think they're going to be that impacted by it, and they're still at home. I'm leaning the Saints in Survivor Pool as well. I know it's 3 for 3 considering them, but I'm still.
I think if this is 2 years ago and the Saints lose Breeze, then yeah. It's a risky call. But I think Kamara is finally Kamara's the offense, right? It right. Runs through him.
Yep.
So as long as you can
agree. I think they're going to be all right.
Do you think Peyton was the one that brought Ingram back in?
Yeah, I think he likes him, and I think they don't want to hurt Kamara, and I think they need to be a running identity now. They really need to hammer the ball a lot. They're not going to have much of a passing offense. Their receivers haven't been showing up as it is. Michael Thomas is nowhere to be found, so they're going to run the ball a lot, and I think it's going to succeed very well against this lackluster Atlanta team.
Yep. I agree. So we're all in agreement on the Saints, which brings us to our next interesting game, Bills at Jaguars. Our friend Cameron last week
Oh,
brought up the Manning curse. Every active player that's been on the Monday Manning show or whatever during the Monday Night Football game has went on to lose their game the next week. We saw it happen with Brady this past week, and Josh Allen was the one that was on it this week for an active player. Holy shit, that was a shot. Just went foul for Duval. I don't see Josh Allen losing to the Jags. I'm going to take the Bills here. I just think they have too many weapons. You saw Josh Allen kill the Dolphins, and Emmanuel Sanders only got 3 targets, and that's their second best receiver on the team. I love Josh Allen.
I like how we're putting the curse to the test to the extreme because this has massive implications. If the Jaguars win this game, the curse is real. We have to admit it. We have no other choice.
Oh, you have to admit it because the Jags suck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pick the Bills too. I don't necessarily think it's going to be close. The Jaguars are extremely uninspiring. But it's worth saying, if the Jaguars win this game, the Manning curse is very, very, very real. But I will not pick it yet. I will go.
Andy, are you good to take this one, or do you need me to announce your pick?
Go ahead, Shane.
Andy's taking the Bills, probably for very much the same reason as us. He definitely wants to test the Manning curse, I'm sure. But yeah, so we're all in agreement on the Bills. Was that just another home run? No. Next one we got the Browns traveling to the Bengals. Ken, do you think Baker can go into Cincy and win this one?
This, I think, is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be decided very, very late. Couple points, field goal game. This is not the Bengals Browns games of old. This is going to have some swagger to it. Baker versus Burrow. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. Honestly, I think it might be the game of the week. The Browns need this win. They're 4-4. The Bengals are coming off an embarrassing loss to the Jets. Back home. This is kind of like I kind of like to go with the home teams in these situations after getting embarrassed on the road in a bad environment, coming back home, still against a good team, cannot be discredited. But I'm gonna go with the Bengals here. I think both defenses are gonna step up, but at the end of this, I still think that they're gonna burn the Browns secondary with Jamar Chase, with Tyler Boyd. Maybe even CJ Uzoma, who knows? But the passing attack, I still think, is going to be too much. And the Browns are still missing pieces of this offense. I don't want to discredit that either. So I'm leaning the Bengals here.
This one's my tough one. I've kind of gone back and forth with it, especially right here. I just wrote down my answer. I'm going to ride with my boy Baker. What the fuck's happened to Odell? That's what I want to know. He's been non-existent. And pretty much since he's come to the Browns, and Baker is a great quarterback. He's done great things with Jarvis, David Njoku, Kareem Hunt. Quite a few players have been able to work successfully. Rashad Higgins worked successfully with
Demetric Felton is getting a nice little set of plays for him too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For whatever reason, Baker and Odell can just not get on the same page as much as they were. Baker put out those vlogs of them working out in the off season. For whatever reason, they just do not have a connection. I think Odell's as good as gone in the off season. I think they definitely move on from him. One
they
way
should
or
have traded
another.
him today.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think we see the Browns bring in a weapon in the draft. Or they utilize Anthony Schwartz more, who I think is a pretty good receiver. He's made some good plays this year.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this Demetric Felton, he's going to be a nice little Swiss Army knife in that offense.
Yeah, I agree.
Darren Sproles kind of guy. He's good.
I think the Browns win this one in a close one. It's going to be an NFC North slobber knocker. But I'm going to take the Browns. They're like my second team after the Pats because I just love Baker so much. It's kind of like Ken with Derrick Henry. But But yeah, I'm gonna take the Browns. What'd you say?
Too bad they're both getting hurt.
Yeah, unfortunately. Moving into the next one, we got the Patriots at the Panthers. Stephen Gilmore gets his revenge game here. He did get a pick last week. Oh God, Ken, I'll let you go first. Andy's taking the Patriots.
I'm also taking the Patriots. I love them in this spot. I said the Jets win meant nothing. I said what was going to be telling was what happened against the Chargers. They won by 3. I was proven wrong. Well, not proven wrong because I said I could see them winning this game, but I was proven that I should have had more faith in the guys because they took care of business. They dominated the Chargers in LA. This is a much not as difficult travel flight for them. Definitely not as difficult as of an opponent, certainly, especially if they continue to be without McCaffrey. I think the Patriots are going to get this win, move above 500, get themselves well back in the playoff hunt. They looked very impressive against the Chargers. That was a quality win in a quality environment. I think they're going to get a second quality win this week and keep the engine rolling.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth on this, but Sam Darnold has been less than inspiring over the past few weeks. So I'm going to take the Pats. Mac Jones looked good against the Chargers. The defense looks like it's coming together. They played great against Herbert. I'm going to take the Patriots here. I should have took them last week, like Ken said. I was on the fence, but again, I was happy to be proven wrong because that was a great win. So yeah, I'll take the Patriots. I think it maybe a 10-point game. That'd be great to see them win double digits this week going into Carolina. Moving on to our next week, we've got the Von Miller-less Broncos going to Dallas. The question here is, do we see Dak or do we see Cooper Rush again? Everyone said that going into this past week that Cooper Rush was always the starter going in, but Dak wanted to see if he could go pregame. He couldn't, so everything had already been set up for Cooper Rush to start anyways. I think we see a lot of the same this week in case Dak can't go again. I love Teddy Bridgewater. I think the Broncos defense is good even without Von Miller, but I can't bet against the Cowboys. Every time I do, I get burned. So I'm going to take the Cowboys. Andy's taking the Cowboys. Ken, where are you on this one?
I always take the Cowboys. They keep winning, so you got to keep riding them. They're elite. They are one of the class teams of the NFC. Definitely a Super Bowl contender. So this is a game that they're going to win at home. The Broncos, by selling Von Miller, I think they're hovering on the verge of mediocrity overall. I don't think they have a lot of plans for this season. I think they're loading up for next year. So I don't think they necessarily want to win this game. I don't know. It's kind of a vibe I'm getting by that trade. So they've also lost 2 straight on the road. I think the rest that Dak got gives them an extra boost, and they win comfortably. Unfortunately, I've already used Dallas, so not survivor worthy.
No, yeah, I think the Cowboys definitely win this one. Now we're going into our next game, which is the Vikings at the Ravens. Ravens had a bye last week. They're coming back at home against the Vikings. Andy's taking the Ravens. Where are you on this one?
I think this is a tough draw for the Vikings. They just had a heartbreaker on Sunday night. Now they're going to Baltimore to play in an already tough environment, never mind the fact that the team's coming up by another situation that I would not want to be in. Frankly, I think the Ravens are going to win this one comfortably too. I really like the home teams coming off byes, so this one's screaming Baltimore to me. I don't know if I've used Baltimore in the Survivor Pool, but it might be a little risky to pick Vikings. They're a good team. For this situation, I really like Baltimore. It lines up very well for them.
Yeah, I also like Baltimore this week. I don't understand why the Vikings, have kind of shied away from Justin Jefferson in the offense the past couple weeks. He's not getting the same amount of juice.
I think there's something there. I think he's banged up.
I mean, that's fair. Because typically last year we'd see him get 10 to 12 targets a game, and against the Cowboys, I think he got 4 targets, and he was on the field for a lot of the game. I think Kirk Cousins is forcing it to Adam Thielen. I think he needs to just – when Kirk Cousins is relaxed and not forcing the ball and even getting KJ Osborne in the game, the Vikings are a different team. They're a team that is scary to play. That offense is pretty loaded. But I think the Ravens are too much. They've got Rashad Bateman back. Especially he was looking good before the bye. Now he had a week to rest. I think he's going to look even better.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
I just think the Ravens have it all here. Lamar's looked good. So, yeah, I'll give it to the Ravens. So we're all 3 in on the Ravens, which brings us to our next game. Could be an interesting one. Texans at Dolphins was the possible landing spot for Deshaun Watson. Didn't work out that way. Tua, my guy, is still the quarterback there in Miami. I'm going to go Miami. Although is it Tyrod Taylor starting or is it still Davis Mills?
Yeah, it is Tyrod, I believe.
Okay, so that makes it a little different, but I'm still going to go Tua. I think Tua is going to be able to get it done. Go with my guy Brian Flores and go with the Dolphins. Andy's going Dolphins. Where are you on this one?
Yeah, this is the poop bowl for the NFL. This is, I think, two of the three worst offenses in the NFL playing. So you're not going to want to watch this game.
This is the one that Red Zone just like goes in on like once every
neither
15 minutes.
Neither team's won a game in months, to be honest. That's like it's awful. I'm just gonna. I mean, I think it's a toss-up, honestly. But shot in the dark, I would just ride with the home team. So Miami for me as well. But not a whole lot of logic behind it. I think the quarterbacks are a wash. I think the receivers are a wash. I think the running games are almost a wash.
Jalen Waddle has looked good, though.
Who?
Jalen Waddle has looked a lot better than I thought he'd do.
Yeah, I know he has, but I think Cooks and Nico Collins have both looked pretty good too. So, I don't know.
My question to you, because we have some extra time, it looks like we're gonna have quite a bit of extra time. Is do you think, because Brandon Cooks was so mad about Ingram getting moved, do you think Cooks is a candidate to get moved from Houston in the offseason?
Yeah, I think he's surprised that he's still there, to be honest with you. He's really the only guy that's a relevant receiver. I think it depends, though. If they draft a quarterback, they'll probably want to keep Cooks as a veteran target for
Did you see the Browns maybe swapping Cooks and Beckham because they're both upset with their situations?
Oh, I hate that for Houston. That's awful. I would so much rather have Brandon Cooks than Odell Beckham. Brandon Cooks is a professional. He performs no matter where he is. Beckham doesn't perform anywhere. I think the only way Beckham performs is if he has Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback.
I think over this past decade, the most overrated player in the NFL has been Odell Beckham because
Absolutely.
of the catches. What he
it's bar none, by far the most overrated player. He's living hype. He's living off of hype from a half a rookie season.
Yeah, I think that's who the Browns should target in the offseason is Brandon Cooks. If they can somehow get him on the team, I think him and Jarvis Landry are like a match made in heaven with each other. Because I think they have it right with Jarvis Landry. He just needs to stay healthy. But I think Cooks could be a good complement to that.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think Baker needs somebody he can deep throw the ball to that is reliable, because that's what Beckham's supposed to be. He just doesn't do it.
Yeah. Andy, I see you're back. Do you think the Browns need to get rid of Odell Beckham in the offseason?
I think combined with all his injuries, right? And I think the pressure of getting him the football, with so many mouths to feed on that offense. I mean, you're talking about the running game with Hunt and Chubb. And, the emergence of the tight ends, I think Baker really likes throwing to the tight ends. You got 3 of them there. You got Austin Hooper, you got Harrison Bryant, and then you got David Njoku. So he likes throwing to all those guys also.
Plus Landry.
Plus Lane. I'm just naming pretty much everybody else other than Odell Beckham at this point because, Odell with his injuries last year, I think they really learned how to play without him. And, I feel like they're kind of forcing targets to him, when he does get targets, and it's just not really panning out anymore.
So because we have some extra time, I pose this question to Ken, and I'll pose it to you too to get an opposing view. Cooks was very upset that Ingram left Houston, right? He didn't like that Ingram was moved to New Orleans. Do we see Cooks moved in the offseason? And is it possible that the Browns and the Texans can cook up a trade for Brandon Cooks and Odell Beckham?
I see what you did there. It would be an interesting fit, to say the least. I mean, if you want to stretch the football down the field, Brandon Cooks could be an asset, considering Jarvis Landry's not that type of player. He's like a third down possession type of receiver. That's really how he's used best. So getting Cooks on the outside. But I feel like if they utilize Donovan Peoples-Jones more, he could kind of be that guy in that offense rather than bringing in a Brandon Cooks, where you could fortify that offensive line and continue to keep Baker protected. I think that would be the better investment than going after a Brandon Cooks. It wouldn't be an interesting fit, but I think they have the personnel on that team already in Donovan Peoples-Jones to really continue to stretch the field and work with Baker.
Ken, I see you nodding your head down there. Do you think moving Odell for picks to solidify the line is the right move?
Yes, because I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is pretty good as well. I think he's a nice talent. I think he's got a bright future, and he's developing. He's just developing slowly. A lot of these wide receivers do develop slow. Just because they don't break out right away doesn't mean they're not going to. And I think he's a pretty good case of that. So I don't think they necessarily need to replace him with another receiver. I think they have young talent that's developing. You mentioned Schwartz. I mentioned Felton. Big mentioned DPJ. We each mentioned a different guy. So that tells you how much depth they have in terms of young talent at the wide receiver position. And they have some solid tight ends. So
I love Stefanski too. I think he's been the guy who changed the culture.
I would stay young and draft another one. Baker's young. He's not going anywhere. He's got time.
Yeah, absolutely. Which brings us into our next – sorry, we got off onto a tangent. Brings us into our next game, which is another young quarterback, two young quarterbacks actually. It's the Chargers going to Philadelphia, Justin Herbert versus Jalen Hurts. This line just opened up, as I told Andy earlier, opened up at -1.5 for the Chargers over the Eagles, which is a great line. But I think the Eagles just came off a huge win, big win. Offense looked great. Everything was clicking for him. But I think this is the game that Herbert can rebound from, because I'm not a big fan of the Eagles' defense. I think Herbert can throw all over him. Mike Williams needs to stop being this very inconsistent receiver. He has 2 big games, then he goes silent for 3. He needs to assert himself. Herbert needs to get him the ball. Keep feeding Eckler, because Eckler is amazing. I love Eckler. He's done so good this season. But yeah, I'm going Chargers. Where are you on this one, Ken?
I'm also on the Chargers because I think this is a perfect rebound spot. I think the Eagles' slaughter of the Lions says more about the Lions than it does about the Eagles. The Eagles are 0-3 at home. And I think the Chargers are going to come out striking after a angry, tough home loss to the Patriots. Like I said, the NFL is a great equalizer. You might look Jekyll and Hyde one week to the next, and I think that's what the Eagles are going to be here. I just don't see the Chargers losing 3 straight, so I'm going to take Herbert.
Absolutely, and Andy's going Chargers as well. So that brings us into our next one, which most times, most seasons, this, especially the last couple, this is game of the week, bar none. This might even be Sunday night football territory. Packers at Chiefs, but the Chiefs have looked fucking awful.
Yep.
I was talking to Andy about this earlier when I was driving home from getting my dog's nails clipped at the vet. What's going on with Patrick Mahomes, right? I was on Twitter, and there was a former NFL coach, former college coach, that was saying it looks like Patty might have messed with his mechanics in the offseason. So maybe that has something to do with it. I think that could be it, coupled with the bad offensive line, coupled with the fact that these NFL teams are starting to actually adjust to him in this backyard football type of offense that just isn't working.
I think it's that. I think the adjustments to the backyard type of offense is what's derailing this entire operation. Did you see how bad Kelsey looked last night? Terrible.
Yeah, he got seven targets though.
Non-existent. He was non-existent as a presence. He was dropping them. Patty has been reckless with the football. He looks like he's playing flag football between the fumbles, the interceptions. His receivers have been very sloppy.
Did you see the first interception in the end zone? He threw it off the guy's helmet.
Yep. And his receivers are doing the same thing. They're tipping passes into defenders' hands. They have no running game. They don't dedicate any time to it. Their running game is short passes. It's a one-dimensional offense. And I think it should go back to Andy Reid too. I think Andy Reid kind of cashed it in and wasn't really coaching. That's sort of my opinion of it. I don't think he's really doing a good job at all. Melvin Ingram's going to help that defense. That's who they acquired today at the deadline. So that's a big win for them. That should help. Weird trade for the Steelers, but should help. I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if they have anything that's going to help fix this. This is the first time we've seen Rodgers versus Mahomes? One of the first times, because
it's one of the first times. I think it actually might be the first time.
The TV, the internet is going to have a meltdown. This is going to be all over the televisions. This is State Farm Bowl. But I think the Green Bay defense is going to wreak some havoc. They've quietly been a very good unit, a top 10 unit.
Rashawn Gary's been one of the best outside linebackers in the league.
And they are going to keep making Mahomes uncomfortable and force him into bad decisions. As long as they can run the ball at Arrowhead, they'll be okay, which they should be able to do. They have a very good set of running backs.
A.J. Dillon, BC, baby.
Huh?
I said A.J. Dillon, BC, baby.
Yeah. I think the Packers are going to grind this one out. I'm not going to say anything bad about Aaron Rodgers. He actually sent me $10 in Bitcoin on Cash App, so we buried our hatchet. We're friends now, so nothing more to say about him. We're buddies.
He had a great Halloween costume over the weekend.
Packers are going to win this game.
I'm going to take the Packers too. I think Devontae Adams is back this week, so you're going to see this offense stabilize a little bit. Aaron Rodgers has looked good. I really enjoyed this year. As much as I've called Aaron Rodgers a bitch, said this and that about him, I've enjoyed how public he's been this year. Because he's been going on the Pat McAfee podcast once a week, so you're kind of seeing his personality a little more. He's actually quite funny. I thought he had a pretty cool costume for Halloween. He was John Wick. I think he'll cut his ridiculous hair now because he said he was only growing his hair out for his Halloween costume. So now that he got to live his dream and be John Wick and give out Bitcoin to Ken, I think we'll maybe see. Oh shit! Dansby Swanson 2-run homer, baby.
Ho!
5-0 Braves. But yeah, I'm gonna go Packers here. Do you think say the Chiefs don't make the playoffs? We've got to see an Andy Reid firing, right?
Yeah, I would hope so. He's terrible. I don't think he's doing a good job. I don't think he cares. I think
he got the Super Bowl and he's done.
I think he's coasting. I do. I think he's coasting, and I think it shows.
So I think most likely we see an offensive guy take that role, whether it's Eric Bieniemy or someone else. Steve Belichick, maybe. That's another role for Steve Belichick. Ken's rolling his eyes at me, saying, God damn it, with this Steve Belichick shit again. I can see it all in his face. I see the displeasure. But yeah, I think you've got to adjust the offensive line for the Chiefs in the offseason. Mahomes is running for his life every single game, right?
Yeah, he's running for his life. The offensive line has no excuse to be this bad, by the way. They signed, Orlando Brown
they traded for Orlando Brown.
Yeah, and they signed the guy. Who's the center? Is it Tooney from the Patriots?
Yeah.
They don't have an excuse to be this bad, really. They gotta step it up. Honestly, a lot of players have to step it up, and Mahomes included.
I'm
stuck between a rock and a hard place. I don't know whether to sell him in Dynasty or not.
I think he turns it around, but this year might be in trouble. Moving on to the darling team of the Ask Us Sports podcast is the Cardinals at the 49ers. I'm taking the Cardinals. Andy's taking the Cardinals. I think Kyler, I know he's questionable right now. He'll play. He's got a bruised ego. I think a lot of what we saw in the Cardinals-Packers game was the I don't know the word for it, was the remnants of why Thursday Night Football shouldn't be a thing. Both of those teams looked unprepared. A lot of them looked sluggish, not ready to play, not, like I said, not prepared, maybe dealing with some more injuries from the Sunday prior. I just think Thursday Night Football needs to go.
People are getting
that'll
hurt.
be the get off my chest next week, possibly. But Thursday Night Football needs to go. I think if the Cardinals and the Packers played on Sunday, anytime on Sunday, they could have played at 8 a.m. Yes, sir, Andy. Yes, sir. I think you would have saw the Cardinals much more prepared. You would have seen a different Cardinals team. I think the Cardinals would have beat the Packers, to be honest, if it was a Sunday game. But yeah, I'm going Cardinals over Niners. Where are you going, Ken?
I will also take the Cardinals. I did consider the Niners here, but I really don't like the way they're playing. I think it's really sloppy. Shanahan's kind of a mess. Elijah Mitchell does look pretty good, but I don't like the fact that they are using Jimmy. Like, Jimmy had 2 rushing touchdowns. I just think, come on, what are we doing here? I think his play calling's too cute. They do play tough at home, so I think this is going to be close. I don't think this will be a blowout.
I don't like that they're not using Trey Sermon.
Yeah, it's weird. He
had 2 great weeks.
He's weirdly put into the doghouse for no reason. I don't like Shanahan's play calling. I think he's extremely overrated. And I think he is one of the biggest detriments to the 49ers. There's no excuse for the 49ers to be bad. I'm waiting to be impressed by Kyle Shanahan. I think he's a joke.
I think Cliff Kingsbury's a much better coach than
Shanahan. I really don't. I think Kyle Shanahan is like a 4th grade version of Sean McVay, just trash. I really don't like him. I don't.
He can't hold McVay's.
He thinks he's cute. He thinks he's smart, and maybe he'll win this game and beat the Cardinals and make me eat crow. But I will take the Cardinals.
Awesome. Which brings us into our Sunday night game. I'm going to lead this one with Andy because he's back for a minute. It's the Titans at the Rams. This had so much more potential than it has right now, with the Titans being Derrick Henry-less. Andy, where are you leaning on this?
The subtraction of Derrick Henry and the addition of Von Miller, combined with the fact that it's a primetime game and the Rams are at home. I don't know what the spread is on this one. I frankly didn't check it.
3.5 to start.
It's only 3.5. Really?
Yeah, I'll double check for you.
Are you going to
continue. I'll tell you.
Are you going to put that in? Minus 3.5? I feel like that's low. To be honest with you, I'm hammering the Rams.
Ken, where are you on this one?
I will also take the Rams. Very painful, but there is no way Tannehill can fill this void. There's no way Adrian Peterson can fill this void. This team might not make the playoffs now.
It's been bumped up to 7.5.
They're making the playoffs. Think of that division, Ken. I mean, you got.
It depends. For me, I think if the Colts can figure their shit out, they can still win.
But even in that respect, Ken, I mean, Tennessee's beaten them twice, so they have the tiebreaker. So they're essentially 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, what are the records right now?
I mean, Houston and Jacksonville are
they're out. I mean, it's true. The Titans are 6-2. I mean,
they're making the playoffs now. Will Derrick Henry be back?
Colts are 3-5. The Titans are up.
Lost to the Rams, lost to the Saints, beat Houston, so they'll beat
2 games,
Houston.
but they're essentially up 3.
No,
the tiebreaker.
I mean, they are pretty much guaranteed 10 wins. They still play Houston, Jacksonville, Houston, Miami, so that's 4 wins. So they'll make the playoffs and get bounced pretty quickly.
They could make the playoffs, and they could actually get Derrick Henry back for the playoffs. So, I mean, I still think they're in a good spot. Will they win this week? No. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. So, Ken, you're officially going Rams?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams too. I think we see Darrell Henderson have another big game. He's been excellent for him this year, way better than I thought he would be. But yeah, give me the Rams with Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, eventual MVP Cooper Kupp. But yeah, I'm going to take the Rams, which brings us to a lackluster Monday night game, which I think the NFL was hoping for a star-studded Justin Fields.
Lackluster my ass.
You should have saw the face Andy gave me. Oh, my God. For the viewers listening to this after the podcast, you have to go to the YouTube channel and see Andy's face he gave me when I said lackluster Monday night
At
game.
1 minute and, 20 seconds, by the way?
An hour and 20, yeah. But yeah, I think the NFL was hoping Justin Fields was going to be gangbusters. The Bears were going to have a better team. And frankly, the Steelers were going to have a better quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger still sucks.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Najee Harris, way better than advertised. He's been great. I really like Khalil Herbert for the Bears. I think he's a difference maker. As much as I thought David Montgomery's been super good for the Bears, I think it is time to trade him and feature Khalil Herbert. He reminds me so much of Matt Forte. It's ridiculous. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. He's a very good, very, very good.
I think he's like when I was watching Khalil Herbert, I think he is a talented Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Because he's little, yeah. He's
a
5'11".
talented version of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If Clyde Edwards-Helaire was actually good.
Yeah, hold on one second. Oh, Freddie Freeman.
Stop it, Shane. You're ahead of me.
I'm sorry.
Shane, spoilers. Fuck.
Sorry, he just had an RBI double. My bad.
Also, Fields is looking better. He looked better last week.
God.
Definitely looked better. Darnell Mooney had a good game. He was looking better, that's for sure.
Andy is jumping around like a schoolgirl. We need to keep this podcast going till the game ends so we can watch Andy cry.
I think Fields. That's a long podcast. I think Fields is. I think Fields is starting to get a little closer towards NFL comfortable. But the Steelers are on a 3-game winning streak. I think they figured things out. They're winning games without being flashy. They're doing things right. Offensive lines figured some stuff out. Defenses figured some stuff out. Pat Freiermuth is a stud.
Yes.
I think the Steelers are going to win this game at home on Monday night.
Yeah. As much as
actually, I mean, maybe I could pick the Steelers in Survivor Pool. I haven't used them yet, but I do think.
I like to bust Andy's balls, I'm taking the Steelers too.
You didn't want to get cute here, Shane?
No, I love Najee Harris. As much as I like Khalil Herbert and think he is the future for the Bears, I will die on the Najee Harris hill.
I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields, if he kind of plays to how he played last week, and it seemed like he was playing more freely. I mean, I know the Bears ended up losing the game and all to the 49ers, but seemed like he was more like himself. He was more natural playing, the way that he does play. So I think if he continues to that trajectory, we could see more good things out of Justin Fields. But to that effect, the Steelers are hot right now. 3 wins in a row after starting 1-3. Not necessarily because of Ben Roethlisberger, but turning the football over less. Defense is playing fantastic. The kicking game is a little different this week with the addition of Josh Lambo, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. He's on the top 5 in all-time accuracy in terms of kickers. So Chris Boswell is concussed right now, so it's a new kicker. But otherwise, I think we're playing really good football right now. So go Steelers, go!
Absolutely. And Ken, Jorge Soler scored that 6th run, so maybe MVP time. Hip hip, baby.
I would love that. I mean, who's the front runner?
Somebody asked me on Twitter a couple nights ago. This was after Game 4. Said, who is your pick? I haven't really been watching the series, but I want to pick somebody for MVP. Give me a couple guys. I said Soler's probably the top of the list because after his home run, go-ahead home run in Game 4, so he's probably at the top of the list with 2 bangers. Now he has 3 in the World Series, so that would be my first guess. And then he locked it in. The guy locked it in. Soler, I think it was plus 800
God, that would be
so. I hope for him that Solaire is the MVP, so he gets a nice cash and I look smart. So
me too.
After a rough couple days, Viggy Betts is having a better night on the betting landscape. So
hey man, hey, sometimes it happens, right?
Miami Heat win by 15, by the way.
Yes. I am 2 games away from cashing my $25 NBA parlay. I just need the Jazz and the Lakers to win. The Jazz and the Kings are tied currently. I'm hoping the Jazz can pull away.
Just warms my heart that you can bet with me now, Shane.
Yeah, don't give me that pick.
Waited so long for this.
Up in shithole Massachusetts, can't do it.
You can use match bets.
Yes, you should use match bets. Let me get you into that.
What the fuck is that?
I will talk to you offline about it, my man.
Oh God, he's coming for me.
He's good. Yeah,
I think this.
Shane, I didn't think about that.
This sounds like it's going to require Jerry Jeudy or Michael Pittman in return.
No, man, you don't have to trade me anybody. Just.
No, he's saying you trade him.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
But no, this was a great show, guys. Again, Ken and I will cook up something. I definitely want to do that conspiracy episode.
Oh yeah.
We need to talk about it.
You're not doing it tomorrow now.
I have to work tomorrow, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, tomorrow Survivor's on.
Yes. Plus Survivor's on.
So give me a small take on that real quick, because I was reading an article saying that it's been the worst ratings wise ever.
Survivor?
Yeah.
The twists have issues to them because the twists confuse the players, and when you have confused players, you don't have good TV. So the viewers are confused, the players are confused. The twists are too over the top, so they don't interact with each other well. So like one person might lose their vote, for example, but so they lose their vote, so they can't take the shot in the dark, and it's like, what the fuck am I even talking about? You know what I mean?
Can we talk about the twist that is it?
Liana's is bogus.
She knows who has the idols.
Because they made them say it out loud. Goat on AstroTurf and Butterfly Relatives. Like everybody knows who has the idols because they had to audibly say it out loud in order to act.
And she has an advantage that she can take anyone's idol. She just has to say who has it.
Right. So she's just going to walk up to
you're talking about
she already knows who has
Survivor,
literally engineered to rig Xavier out of the game as my conspiracy theory, but I'm hoping he can navigate his way through it, and maybe she'll do it to Nasir. Not that I dislike Nasir, but I feel like Xavier's gotten such a shit draw right so far. I think the twists are a problem. The twists become a problem when they defeat the purpose of the game, because it's supposed to be a social experiment. Like now this girl's going to flip the entire challenge upside down. Like I don't think you should be allowed to do that when you are at the bottom of the totem pole being ostracized. Spoilers for last week, sorry, but it's bullshit.
Yeah, this season I've been kind of disengaged in. Not a big fan of I loved the cast, but I'm not a fan of the twists. I think this cast was done dirty by these stupid twists. I think if they just played a normal game of Survivor, we would see different results for sure.
You can do certain things like the extra vote and like I don't know. There's things you can do, but you shouldn't be like why should this girl get to flip the entire results of the challenge? Like why should this other one get to steal an advantage if you just ask for it? Like it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make you a good Survivor player.
I guess at least with Big Brother, they do new twists every year, but it seems to always pan out well, right?
Yeah, I mean for the most part, we won't say always.
I mean, this is what we get because we took away.
They're not confusing.
We took away Jeff's fire tokens, and now we get this.
Oh yes, yeah, the stupid fire tokens, yeah. But yeah, before we sign off, one other thing I do want to say, I want to give a big shout out to Chewy, the dog food company.
Yes.
I buy my girl's dog food from there all the time.
Chewy, we want a sponsor.
Yes, Chewy. I'm your biggest fan. I just spent $90. I just spent $90 on my dog's birthday there.
Me and Vig got cat houses. Shane's got 2 dogs. We are the
and
perfect group.
They sent me a package yesterday. I had no idea what it was. I was like, what do I have coming from Chewy? I had looked at my orders. I was like, I haven't ordered anything because I ordered my Charlie's birthday present yesterday, so I knew it wasn't that. I opened my mail and it's freaking a painted picture of my dog's profile picture on Chewy. It's the cutest thing. I don't know how they did it. It's hand painted though on canvas, stapled to wood. It's amazing. It could literally be stick figures and I'd be blown away just because of how generous that is. I'm a big customer service guy. I've worked customer service my whole life. So something like that, just something little like that, probably cost him like $5 to do. It's just amazing to me. Chewy, you're awesome. Sponsor our podcast. That'd be fucking sweet. I'm going to tag you in it tonight.
Let's do it. They've done it for my animals too. My dog and my two cats.
I too have gotten. I get a Christmas card every year.
It's awesome.
I think that's a nice touch, and they're handwritten.
I've seen stories where people have adopted sick animals that have special diets, and those animals don't make it through the diet, and Chewy buys back the food and tells them to bring it to the local shelter. Like they're really a great company. I do really like them a lot.
Yeah, I think, and that's why people thought GameStop was going to do good because the Chewy CEO went on to the GameStop's board of directors. So that's why they thought GameStop was going all like online. Was because he jumped over there to do that and Chewy. So I mean, but yeah, Chewy, you're awesome. Sponsor us, that'd be fucking sweet.
Yes.
Follow Ken at EC Breaking Co. or at Kembo J Slice.
Yes.
Follow my man Viggy Betts at Viggy Betts.
Yes.
Follow me at Ask Us Sports or my new handle. I've made it ask_Shane_27.
That's how you got 1,000 followers, Shane, right there.
Yeah, I'm at 1,000 followers now. It's great.
I know. I got ECBC pumping up.
You went down to $9.99 for a second though earlier.
Yeah, because you're a dickhead. But I did that to you, so it's fair is fair. I do that to you whenever you reach any milestone.
Yeah. That's why I learned my lesson is to not celebrate those kind of milestones until you get to like 1,005 or 5,005 or 10 or whatever.
I know.
Before I tell you.
I know.
No, I think you just don't tell me, and then you wait till you're like 10 followers over, and then you tell me, so I can't ruin it.
Damn right.
But no, great episode, guys. Again, Ken and I will scheme something. Try and figure something out for us. Do a conspiracy episode. I know Ken's got some theories. I've got some burning theories. We love you guys. See you next week. Have a good one. Hopefully, let's go Braves, right?
Yes. He does. Why is that? God, what are you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back, Shane.